Welcome to episode 33 of 10,000 Africans podcast. This is your host, JD Tarpon. Today on the show, we have an entrepreneur extraordinaire. She is the founder and CEO of The Wealth Factory. She is the creator of the popular app, the popular game, The Credit Stacker, which is the first and only financial literacy game in the world. She's been named by Forbes magazine as the next Steve Jobs. She is the author of The History of the Black Dollar. She is easily one of the most passionate, driven, hardworking, and inspiring entrepreneurs I've ever come across. Her name is Angel Rich. Welcome to 10,000 Africans podcast, Angel. It is great to have you on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Anyways, I introduced you for a second, but then obviously I didn't cover your story. So we want to know, what is the story that has led you here?
Yeah, so long story short, I'm a little girl from D.C., a fourth generation Washingtonian. I grew up in a life insurance sales family, and I always sort of wondered why people didn't know how to manage their money. After graduating college and completing a Goldman Sachs portfolio challenge and going off and becoming global market research analyst for Prudential, I decided to found this company to create equal access to everyone everywhere for financial literacy. And essentially what our company does is design financial literacy education technology games where we, from birth to retirement, and 12 interactive modules to exceed the personal finance Common Core standards. And the first game that we created is Credit Stacker. It's similar to Candy Crush, but instead of swapping around candy, you swap around credit types to pay off your debt, achieve a high credit score, and learn from the multiple choice questions. And we've been named the best financial literacy product in the country by the White House, Department of Education, and JPMorgan Chase.
Yeah, I got into Credit Stacker. I got a credit score of 839, I believe, which was exciting. I wish that was real, but it's an exciting...
It can be.
True. It is an exciting game, and anybody who gets on it, I think, gets hooked. I think it's just it's an amazing game that teaches you wealth management, so everybody can relate to it. Let's talk about the history of the black dollar, which is a hot topic everybody talks about, and I haven't gotten into the book yet, but as somebody go into the book, what should I expect to learn out of it?
That's a great question. You should expect to learn accurate Black history that does not conveniently neglect the financial contributions and economic disparities that ensued as a result of the proper reflection of Black history. And what does that mean? It means that our history has been sugar-coated and boiled down into I have a dream speeches and belligerent Max Turners and Malcolm X's, and the one savior of a mother of Harriet Tubman. And you boil all that together and throw in a McDonald's commercial, and that's supposed to be Black history. And I think that it's unfortunate that we don't know things like the fact that Booker T. Washington wrote a book called Negroes in Business in 1907, or the fact that the African American community has actually been robbed 6 different times. And not just the famous story of Black Wall Street, but the other 5 stories that don't get told. And so I think that, the reason that we've been able to move forward as a country is with the Jewish community is because we have the Holocaust, and we have a book written by Anne Frank, the child of a person that is experiencing the Holocaust, the child of the Holocaust, has written a book of her diary and provided it to us where we receive the experience through her lens. There is no book like that exists in America where we see the experience of slavery or Jim Crow or sharecropping or civil rights or any of those things. The closest thing I can think of is Melba Bates in Little Rock Nine for the segregation movement. And her book is not that popular, nor is it required in schools. And so, and that's once you get to civil rights. That's past 400 years of slavery. So it's like, I feel as though history of the black dollar should be required reading across the country. That is my goal before I die, so that everyone is on the same page as to what actually happened in America, because Black history actually is American history, is what built the country, is how the country was built, how we were established, and we have been presented false American history throughout every school in the world, because we have not properly told the story of Black history. And until we do that, we will not be on the same page with what the accurate history of America is, and we will not have 1 to 2 museums that properly reflect the history throughout our country like we do with the Holocaust. If you go to every state throughout America, there's 1 to 2 museums in every state for the Holocaust, and it's because we have empathy for Anne Frank. But there's no such book like that in America for Black people.
I think having voices like yours to tell the story and to write about it, because people don't understand how important the written word is, right? Because it's it's going to last forever, and with that goal of putting it in every school and making it required reading, those are the things that need to be done to achieve what we want to. Because until, like you said, until we get to that point where Black history and African American history is taught everywhere in the world, and not just in America, everywhere in the world, we haven't made the strides, and we wouldn't be able to make the strides that we want to.
Yeah, more and more, I really feel as though that is one of those things that must be done. I heard Ava DuVernay earlier today was quoted saying that if you want to change the stories, you have to change the storytellers. And I believe that goes for visually and, how do I say this? Media, visually through media, as well as through the written word. Yeah. And so I think that people like Ava DuVernay and Jordan Peele and Ryan, with Black Panther, I think, and Oprah, I think they're being able to tell the story, and Shonda Rhimes, that they're starting to be able to tell the stories better through media. But there has to be more written word happening, because media fades. Yeah. But written word lasts forever.
Forever.
And so I think in this day and age of social media, so many people have taken to social media, and that's fantastic, as have I. But I think it's important for us not to neglect the textbooks and the actual written books that are disseminated and that are required reading, because that is how they are taking our history away from us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now let's talk about your business. Let's talk about the Wealth Factory. So you guys have the credit stacker out. What else are you guys working on?
From a visual perspective, people that don't want to read a book, and I'm going to do Audible, but say don't want to read the book. Okay. So I've been going around. I've been filming the talks that I've been doing about this. I've been filming the speeches, as well as we have a documentary that we're producing called Untitled. It's about rising Black tech stars, so that we can showcase the journey, different experiences, the behind the scenes, what it feels like to be a Black person at South by Southwest, the amount of shade that you receive, the stories, all different type of things like that, as well as the fun and the triumphs and the success and hey, we getting money over here. And so it's like, y'all keep sleeping if you want to. And that's kind of the point of the documentary. We're also hosting the first ever Black Tech Matters award show. We're gracious enough to have sponsorship by Facebook. We're hosting that on March 16th at South by. We're also filming that. That's going to be an award show that will be filmed and produced. And then eventually, I haven't decided if I'm going to sell it or not the first year, but we're definitely going to put it out there so that people can at least see it. And then maybe we'll sell it next year. And then we also have a cartoon called Princess Angel, and it's basically about a Black princess that solves social justice issues through tech. So there's this cartoon called The Jellies, and it's created by this Black man. And I was watching this video on him last year, and when he originally created The Jellies, it's a cartoon that comes on Nickelodeon. And when he first created it, it was with a white leading male character. And it did really well for his first season. Nickelodeon picked it back up again and gave him a 5-year contract. At which that point in time, he simply changed the color of the character. That was it. He didn't change nothing else. He just simply made the lead character go from beige to brown.
Mm-hmm.
It was an uproar across Nickelodeon. They had to host a press conference because mothers were protesting and they were trying to boycott Nickelodeon because they were trying to say that it was some type of switch and bait, that they got the kids addicted to the cartoon and then they switched it to the black character. And I don't even know what type of argument they were using, but some type of way they were protesting and trying to boycott Nickelodeon. So they have this video clip of this guy, and he goes, they ask him, they say, his mother cries out, and she goes, why? Tell us why you did this. And he said, I'll tell you why. Name me 5 black cartoons in the world right now. I'll wait. And all you hear is crickets, and the camera's going click, 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 click. That's all you hear. Nobody can name this man 5 black cartoons. And then he waits, and then he goes, that's why I did it. And when I saw that, I was in Hollywood at the time, at the Diversity Producers Guild conference for my documentary as a director. And a few people while I was there was like, you should create a cartoon. But I just thought if people was just like, you should create a cartoon. Like, I feel like there's enough cartoons in the world. I never do anything that I feel as though somebody else is already doing. I don't do anything that's already been created. There's no need for me to waste my time or talent on that. And so when that man said that and I learned that there was less than 5 black cartoons in the world, I immediately started writing a black cartoon. And it only took me like a few days to write it. And I have animators on my team already from creating the game. So it's actually extremely easy for me to create a cartoon. So we're going to release that sometime either later this year or early next year. And I'm really excited about that project as well.
You just got me excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, but the core thing is the game and just making sure that we scale the game. We're releasing a new version of the game on March 16th. It's going to have hip-hop music integrated into it. There's never been a game ever created with hip-hop music integrated into it besides the EA,
Sports.
like Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, like besides those, there's never been a mobile game that has. There's never been a mobile game with hip-hop music in it.
That's exciting.
So,
That's exciting.
I'm almost scared. I've only even said this publicly on 2 shows, on your show and on Hot 97.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much.
I'm going to just let it drop because already from the interview on Hot 97, I saw that DJ Khaled talking about he's going to partner with some virtual reality stuff. Like, don't come for me, Khaled. Khaled, partner with me, Khaled. Shout out to Khaled. So it's like, this is about to be real revolutionary. I'm really going to step into my next Steve Jobs shoes for real with this one. Because just like how Steve Jobs disrupted the music industry with the iTunes, in the distribution that way, we're for real about the disruptive music industry with distribution because we're taking an up-and-coming artist that's signed with Epic Solutions. We're putting his music in the game, and overnight, people will be able to listen to his music in 60 countries.
Boom.
And so, just like that.
Wow.
Never done before. So that's the big splash that we're making with the game, and then later this year, we're doing some exciting things around investment. I just reverse engineer Pokemon Go. So later this year we'll be releasing that version. And we kind of like to release, an updated version every 6 months so that it keeps the engagement going and it keeps the features updated.
Nice.
That's the main thing that fuels the engine for everything else.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Now
add it into the game. So we're looking forward to generating revenue off of the game moving forward this year as well. And that's also a major bread and butter. So we've been very fortunate and creative to come up with other business lines and revenue streams to fund the company and to bootstrap the company. I created a curriculum and sold that. So many things that I created for this company to be able to fund the company.
Yeah.
In lieu of not having the proper funding that we should have had to just be able to flesh out the tech development and put all the bells and whistles into the game that that most people are able to do just straight out. Most people are able to just raise $1 to $2 million, do their tech development, and move forward. Instead, we were very creative in coming up with additional revenue streams, and then we take that money and put it back into the tech development. But the positive of that is we've always been revenue positive, and we've never gone into debt. Boom. So that's been a pressure bust pipes and make diamonds.
Exactly.
So we just created a diamond with all the pressure around us, and we're going to end up being far more sustainable than a lot of other companies. I think that while it's been, we definitely have faced our share of obstacles in getting the funding. At the same time, in a way, it has worked to our benefit because we have been forced to work out the kinks and to be sustainable and have a great product and get the proper feedback and to fail fast.
Boom.
We've been forced to fail fast and to produce excellence even faster.
Yeah.
And so I think as a result, when we get the money, when we get the funding that we're due, it's going to be even greater than what anybody has ever seen. That was last year.
And even better because you're going to be more prepared for it.
Exactly. And it has a much more solid foundation.
I see why they call you the next Steve Jobs. Yeah, I'm just amazed.
Now, right now, I'm actually trying not to go into my nerd bag.
Oh my. That actually just drives into my question just for everybody else. What is the biggest challenge you faced so far being a black woman in tech, and trying to create value for the community while also making money?
Maintaining my patience in the face of ignorance.
That is very simple and to the point, and I think everybody understands it.
I'll give you an example. I was in a pitch competition yesterday. It was amongst the top 10 education companies in the world. Mm-hmm. Everyone felt as though I should have won. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. Even other contestants that I competed against came up to me and felt as though I should have won. There were two moderators on the stage. One was a black woman, one was a white man. The black woman also felt as though I should have won, and she told me this afterwards. The white man, in the middle of the competition, while somebody was pitching on the stage, walked off the stage to have a conversation with one of the contestants that was about to pitch.
Oh, wow.
2 people later. In the middle of the competition.
Wow.
With the entire audience watching him do this. At the end, can you tell me who won?
Wow. So it's not even hidden.
It's not even hidden.
That is insane.
But I have to smile and keep it moving like that's not why I just lost.
Wow. That's tough.
That takes an extreme amount of patience, resilience, and faith in God, to be honest.
Wow.
I keep the Bible on me.
Good.
Because it's so real. People have no idea. But that story will never be televised. That story will never be told. Nobody said anything to him. We're wondering if an article or if another contestant is going to say something. It's just going to go on like they won fair and square.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
So being an observer and witnessing things like that, on top of the fact that 0.02% of funding goes to black women, and then you do your best, and you have the entire audience say that you should have won, and you have people asking what was the criteria. And you jump through all those hurdles and you should have won and you still don't win because of those reasons.
Yeah.
That is what is hard.
Yeah, and I think
engineering the Fair Isaac credit reporting system, coming up with an algorithm that's better than Google's, getting named one of the global icons by the United Nations, getting named next Steve Jobs, making Prudential $6 billion, being the first to do the African American study, doing Obama's Veterans Initiative study, and creating an effective plan to bring the troops home. All of that is pretty easy.
Yeah. Oh,
but getting a white man to properly respect me, that takes patience.
Oh man, that is so perfect. It just, I think it does so well to present the case that, things are not fair, or the odds are the odds are stacked against black women in the world in general, whatever field they're in.
Not even a little bit. Not even, like you said, not even hidden, not even a little bit, not even hidden.
That is great. So going through that, if it's the ordinary person, which you aren't, obviously.
Oh, right. That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point.
If it's the ordinary person, people would have given up. People would have, like the average white woman would have lost her mind and cried right there.
That's what I said. That was the last thing I said before I went to sleep. You can ask my chief of staff. She's sitting beside me. I was halfway asleep. And then I woke up and I thought about the white woman. I said, what? Because it was this other girl, this company called Nimble. And I was like, hey, you know what? That woman should be pissed as well. I said, the white woman got a right to be pissed too. Because if I had lost to her, I would have said, okay, I lost fair and square. She had a good company. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And she had no affiliation with at least if she did, they didn't do it in the middle of the competition. Okay. Like she had a great pitch. You won. Cool. Sounds good. So I feel as though, like the white woman should have also been pissed. And I'm wondering if she's going to say something. I'm really wondering. That's what I woke up and said. I said our vote might be the white woman.
We'll see. What advice would you give to young people of African descent who want to add value to their community?
I'm going to actually touch on something that I was about to talk on anyway. And I'm going to give you a quick synopsis. Okay. How I just pointed out to you where I was naming the different things that I've done. And you was like, right, so this would be difficult for an ordinary person. I was recently on a radio show on Sirius, and I made the exact same statement that you and I are talking about, okay? Because this man had raised his hand, and he was like, I want to challenge Angel to say that she needs to wait her turn. And I ran through everything that I just said to you, and I said, so tell me, sir, you tell me, when is it our turn? And a black woman that was the host said to me, well, Angel, what about the people that say that you're just self-grandizing, but I know that you're not? Instead of her taking that opportunity to say what you just said to me, so this would be difficult for the ordinary woman, which was my point. She took a moment to try to side with the opposition.
Yeah.
And why do I say this? What is my advice to young people? My advice to young people is to do it for the culture. F your job.
Boom.
You need to be a Trojan horse. You're only in that position of power for a limited time. You need to figure out how to maintain your position and be a Trojan horse for the culture at the exact same time. Because I could easily go back to Prudential and twiddle my thumbs and keep making $100,000 a year. Shoot, I would probably be at $200,000 a year by now if I wasn't out here doing it for the culture, trying to do what I do. So I need everybody to participate in this, especially the young people. You don't look at your sister and say, you're self-grandizing. No, you look at your sister and say, so how is the younger black woman that's just getting started going to do this if you've done all that, sister, and you can't do this? That's what you say to me. And so I get so irritated with coons that care about their job, that care about their fellow man. And I just hope that this next generation of kids that claim to be so woke, I hope that they don't get lost in their own ego of trying to be woke or getting likes for being woke and actually understand what it means to have group economics and collectively support each other. Even if you don't agree with what I'm saying, you need to agree with me publicly. Yeah. And then when the show's over, come step to me and say what you got to say.
Exactly.
But this whole thing of trying to outshine each other, that's exactly why we're still in the position that we're in. And that's exactly why Africans and West Indian people and everybody else that's from the African diaspora do better than the Black community, because they are not concerned with outshining each other. They are concerned with the collective empowerment of the group. And it's to the point where we all got off on different boats or stayed where we were at. But everywhere else besides America, they have learned to put their differences to the side for the greater good of the community. But in America, we still have this crabs in a barrel, Willie Lynch syndrome, where everybody needs to outshine each other, and we just trying to look good for massa. And I hope that the next generation of African Americans lets go with Willie Lynch and become Wakandans.
That is so perfect. Thank you very much. You sparked a passion in me, so I'm very excited about that. Before I let you go, Angel, one last question. That is our trademark question. If you had 10,000 Africans at your disposal with expertise in every field, what would you do?
So I'm building this website called blackangellist.com for this exact reason. I would like everybody to go on there. Well, my dream ideal is to have the 10,000 Africans. Everybody list their name, their exact location, the exact company that they're working at, and their power. And it's a secret kind of layer of the website where you identify what your resources are and what you can help with. And then somebody else, and then it's kind of like an exchange where you're able to list what you need and you're able to list what your resources are. So if I'm going to just give a clear-cut example. Hi, I'm Angel Rich. I own a financial literacy company, and I'm looking for financial services companies to partner with. Hi, I'm going to just use Camille's name. I'm Camille, and I'm a senior executive, and I work at Goldman Sachs, and I'm looking for financial literacy vendors. Bam. I need a customer. You trying to look out for the community. Let's be Trojan horses with each other and help each other out, because that is what they do all day long, and we're excluded from those pipelines. So we need our own pipeline like that where we're able to connect with each other. If we were to actually do that, we could take over this entire world within a year or two.
I believe so.
It wouldn't even take that long. Look at how the kids came together in America, and they were able to solve things with guns in 9 days because they stuck together.
Yep.
So they shared resources, and their parents shared resources. So if we simply was adamant about our cause, stuck together, and shared resources unequivocally, like unapologetically, shared resources with each other, not trying to vouch, not trying to, like, we can clean up stuff as it move along, but we need to at least just start with sharing resources. And it goes back to the same point I just made, and not care about your job more than you care about the freaking culture. I almost got fired trying to do the African American Financial Experience Study. If I had never did the African American Financial Experience Study, I would have never proven that blacks own more life insurance at an equal or higher value. And to this day, there would still not be blacks in life insurance commercials. Now, the financial services industry completely focuses on the black community as a result of my study. That study has been passed around every financial services company in the world. One person. And I was only there for 3 years. Yeah. So imagine, when I was at the bottom of the totem pole, so imagine people that are senior executives that have been there for 10, 20, 30 years, that have networks of friends, and they go out to cigar bars and take vacations together. Come together and let's help our fellow people be able to be customers of one another. We need an entire customer pipeline for each other so that we can build up group economics and be able to control the power of the black dollar. And that's what needs to happen across the 10,000 Africans, across MyPad, United Nations, Black Angelists, the HBCUs. Like, I'm coming for the world, and I would really like us to connect together so that we can empower each other. So 2 years from now, we're not having the same conversation.
Boom. Thank you so much, Angel. It's amazing having you on. I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you. Thanks for the love.
Before you go away, remember to subscribe, rate, and review 10,000 Africans podcast on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast. We hope to hear from you. Email us your questions and comments. We'd love to hear back from you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.